Hey guys, Coach Andrew here. I wanted to go live for this Technique Tuesday. Normally I pre-record it, but it's the first week. It's a 7-week deep preview of the coaching group. And every Tuesday I do a Technique Tuesday, taking an exercise and kind of picking it apart. Normally in social media I just kind of release like a small 30-second clip focusing on 3 cues. But for the coaching group, I want to do more of a full-length video kind of dissecting each exercise and giving you a little bit more to digest, a little bit more concepts to think about rather than just 3 little cues that you just repeat on a 30-second clip. So I will be releasing a small one for front planks for everybody else, but for you guys, the front plank I really want to dive into. And it's something that you'll see in everybody's home workouts. I mean, you'll see world records of people holding this stuff. There's little intricacies that we don't really pay attention to in the plank that can maximize your results and honestly decrease the time you're holding it, but still get a way better benefit from it if you're doing it the right way. So I wanted to kind of go over those things and talk about it with you guys, and hopefully you can take that into doing, either if you're doing program with us, classes, or your own home workout, and you can take this and apply that when you do front plank. And honestly, this bracing thing I'm going to be talking about in a little bit, you can use to a lot more exercises, and we can kind of build upon that. But for a front plank, in case you guys aren't familiar with it, most are. Just wear it on your forearms, on your toes, and you'll be holding yourself up for as long as you can. One of the most standard core exercises out there, but there's a lot of things we don't focus on. I'm going to break it apart. There's 3 things that I'm going to include in that short video that I've thrown for everybody. For you guys, I really want to go into detail about it. First thing is having proper positioning with your hips. So if you notice, I have a slight bend in my knees. My hips are tucked, and I'm holding this position. What I see a lot of people do, they lock their knees out. You notice it shoots my butt up, or I arch into my back and I hang out here. Now I'm just resting into my lower back, my joints are here. I'm not really working my core. This is actually very uncomfortable, to be honest, but I see people do it all the time. Or they get tired and they lose their core and they just kind of hang out here. And now it just turns into more of a shoulder exercise. I'm just pushing it at the ground. Now if you really want to maximize the engagement of your core in this position, because we want to work stability for the core, that's where it works the most, is to kind of stabilize the spine. We're going to bend the knees slightly, and we're going to try to take your belly button and pull it towards your spine. And then you just hang out here. That's the first thing I like to focus on, is the positioning. The other one is the upper body positioning. What you should, just so you guys can see it, your forearms should be parallel to each other. They shouldn't be rotated in, and they shouldn't be rotated out, and they shouldn't be super narrow. They're about shoulder width apart, parallel to each other. So I'm going to get into that position again. Forearms are parallel. I got my tuck, and I'm right here. Now if I had that angled in, see where my shoulders are at? It kind of hikes everything else up. Now I'm feeling a lot in the front of my shoulder. I can still feel my core a little bit, but generally I'm going to get too tired, and I'm going to start doing this to make it a little easier on my shoulders. So again, forearms parallel, eyes are straight ahead. That way I'm not tucked down and kind of rounding my back. Eyes are straight ahead, and not straight overhead. I mean straight down into the floor, I should say. But that's the second thing I like to focus on. The third, and honestly the most important thing, is tension. Now you see these world records that people holding it for 4 hours, they're really just resting into their joints. They're not creating tension, which if you're going for a world record, fine. But if you guys just want to, kind of engage your core, help work that 6-pack, you're not going to want to just hang out for hours and hours. You don't have the time. So let's maximize the time under tension, because that's what the muscles respond to, is time under tension, not just time and not just tension. So what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to be able to hold this for long because I'm going to create so much tension, I'm going to get in that same position again, parallel forearms, feet shoulder apart, little bend in the knees, belly button towards the spine. I'm going to take my elbows, I'm going to try to pull them down towards my toes, and I'm going to try to take my toes, I'll pull them up towards my elbows. And I'm creating so much tension right now. You can probably see I'm shaking a bit. My abs are on fire. Now if I were to keep this tension for 5 minutes, well, if I would try to keep it for 5 minutes, there's no way I'm doing it. I'm going to slowly start relaxing. I'm just going to start to rest into my joints. And you can see I'm more relaxed in here. I'm not creating that tension. I'm not shaking. I'm really not feeling my core. But if I re-engage and I drive as hard as I can, that's where I'm going to create that tension. That's that bracing sequence I kind of mentioned earlier. We're creating a lot more tension. If you're thinking about like the bottom part of your ribs and the upper part of your pelvis as like this top and bottom of a canister, your core being the canister, I'm trying to pressurize that canister, creating as much tension through this abdominal region in that position. Now we can apply that to squats and deadlifts and everything I'll tell you. This is a great basic exercise to work on creating that abdominal tension. So I hope me kind of dissecting this a little bit for you guys age you. I'm going to keep doing this every Tuesday, and on Fridays I'm going to be doing more concept-based, called the Focus Friday. So tune in, guys, every week, Tuesday, Technique Tuesday. Have a good one. Take care.